Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am a 13th century gamekeeper from the Royal Forest of Wirral, or the Wirral by Liverpool now. And this is my display. So we've got some trophies, hunting trophies on the right here, as well as the tools of the trade on the left. So we'll talk a bit about that first, starting off with the bow. Now, this is a particularly long bow that would be used at the end of the 13th century in the Edwardian army, in which Welsh soldiers, specifically South Welsh soldiers, would be tasked to fight in the Scottish Wars using longbows such as these. However, a more suitable one for the hunting would be a lot more shorter, about this height, and it's a lot easier to be running around the forest with a shorter bow, and it's not meant to be so powerful that it would pierce through mail. So it's about practicality more than anything. So of course we've got some arrows. Some people like to prefer using a quiver to keep it all together, but generally in sources you'll find that they'll just have them tucked in, especially in the Macioski Bible they'll have it tucked into their belt. I'm not expected to do a lot of archery in one day, and of course if they miss their shot they'll go ahead and go get it back. Obviously we've got ourselves a hunting horn as well. And so at any point that I'm on a royal hunt or hunting alongside my lord, I would call when I've found tracks, there is a chase going on, or in another way I could call out to my fellow gamekeepers or other people associated with the party, and in that way, if I've seen poachers or bandits or any evidence, I can call them immediately. I wouldn't want to fight a poacher on my own, but if I had to, I've got some kit to deal with that. We've got ourselves a small hunting blade, and this would be for finishing off animals, maybe even gutting, but a smaller dagger would be a lot more suitable for that. But better off, it's sort of like how falchions become a bit more popular in the later periods. This is like my more day-to-day version. It's especially for a hunter, it's really easy to use, and I can fight with it. But it's by no way means as practical as a sword. But carrying around a sword in a hunting environment is not very practical. We can have small round shields like these. These would be very popular in Wales generally for raiders and poachers. But for a gamekeeper like me, I could have this in safe storage, close by, easy to use. I wouldn't really carry it around on my belt all the time because that's going to be clattering and scaring away game. But in the case I'm expecting some danger, like a poacher, I may want to consider bringing that along with me. I will have some form of protection. This is a curry. A lot of them will be boiled, which makes them really stiff and very difficult to penetrate in comparison to the soft one. This one's more based on the visual one you can find in the Macioski Bible. So it wouldn't necessarily be used in a war context. You wouldn't really want to go to war in this, but it's very flexible, which means it's not going to be rattling against anything or scratching against anything, making noise, and it helps you go through brambles and bushes without getting caught on your clothes or anything you got on your belt, and you can quickly go after game, quickly go after poachers, or run away from a band so you can call your fellow gamekeepers to come and fight them later on. We have some other smaller pieces of padded armor. This one's a neck collar. Most of them would be unintegrated, and they would be buttoned up like so, which means I can have a bit of neck protection, which is often a place that a lot of people will try to hit to take me out, but I do need to see, so I can't exactly have padding on my face, and that'll make it difficult to breathe. But the rest of my head, I can use a simple padded coif. In the Macioski Bible, for example, there's many people that will actually fight in a quick context, such as a skirmish. There's a there's a battle happening in a camp from a surprise attack. Many of them are just wearing a padded coif on its own, as well as the padded collar. Not all royal forests were just woodland. They were also plains and meadows, even farmlands. They were a strict, controlled ecosystem, so that the lord of the land would always have enough game and meat for his feasts. They have to be closely controlled, but if they do get a bit out of hand, get too overpopulous, that's when the huntsman can get a bit of money for himself. He can get a lot more game and start selling that off. In some places, like on the border regions between Wales or even in Scotland, you could actually be lucky enough to have some laws that allow even the peasants to do a bit of hunting. Sometimes to garner support from the populace, they even allow them to go hunting during their occupation of another territory, which means that they will have the people on their side, because now this new leader that's taken over is just allowing you to hunt and take care of the land. But it can also go the other way around as well. Rabbits, well, hares are very accessible to both nobility and the peasantry. Often there are fewer laws restricting the hunting of hares, but in some places that's not always the case, in which case they can buy plenty of hare fur from a gamekeeper who will later sell it off to a tanner or so forth. These would be often found in the linings of hoods such as these. I do have wool lining on this, but in winter time, many people would have, instead of this wool on the inside, this white wool, they'd have it all filled with this fur instead. And that's how plenty of the peasantry would be warm, wear warm clothes over the winter. Now talking about finding poachers, it's a bit of, gamekeepers are sort of like the early police detective. They're going around making sure that the law of the royal forest is maintained and tracking down any poachers. And for that you need signs. So things like the remains of animals, perhaps it was a wolf. In that case, wolves are allowed by both peasants and the nobility to hunt at their own means. They are hunted because they are another predator that they want to get out of their royal forests. They want to make sure they have an abundance of meat, but a wolf population would stop that happening. In Wales around the 13th century, almost all, if not all, the wolf populations were completely wiped out. Orders of both the English and the Welsh. So luckily in the region that I'm doing the gamekeeping, the Wirral, you wouldn't really have any issues with wolves. So any sort of remains like this, maybe a sheep has gotten ill, or maybe if I find other clues, it could mean that it was hunted, raided by the Welsh perhaps, and I'm gathering some clues and evidence for that. Broken arrows, split arrows is another example of that. Another poaching tools left behind. A very careful poacher will always bring back their kit, but often mistakes can happen. And otherwise, bloodied bandages. A lot can go wrong, especially when hunting boars and other more resilient animals, because they can fight back when cornered. And often you may find bloodied bandages just randomly in the woods, maybe connected to old campfires, remains, and then someone's poaching, and then further investigations can come on there. Eventually I will find those poachers, I will blow my horn and get more people alongside with me. I'd bring my spear, I'd have my small round shield, and because it's in a forest, you wouldn't really want to be bringing around a big great kite shield to do the fighting in the middle of a forest. You got to be as quick as these poachers, because once they see you, they're either going to fight and use the terrain advantage against you, or you're going to have to run after them and chase after them through the forest. So we'd have a mix of archers and a mix of spearmen like these, which are very common in North Wales, whereas South Wales had the longbowmen, North Wales had the spearmen. And there are very close neighbours in the Wirral, and they'd often be the poachers that I'm hunting down, because they'd be raiding sheep, cattle, all of the lot. But yeah, that is the gamekeeper's impression. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening. Go.
Knight would still be nothing compared to the agile and quick Welsh skirmisher, which could easily comprehend.